Hi there, and welcome back to my channel. Initially, I thought today I'll share a vlog with you, a behind the scene writing vlog, but I am in the deep ends of fast drafting my next novel, so I did not quite have the time to record everything, edit everything. So here we are talking about a topic that I over the weekend dug into, and that's mental writing. Now, I'm sure you're thinking, what do I mean by that? Writing without writing? And that's exactly what it is, writing without writing. So grab yourself some tea, coffee, or just plain water, sit back, and let's chat about this, how we can integrate creativity into our everyday life. All right. Let's start with a little update on my current writing project, which I'm calling Project Stone. Over the weekend, I was reviewing my word count stats and realized that I'm about 16,000 words in. My goal for the first draft is 25,000 words, so I still have a bit to go. Initially, I felt a bit disheartened, thinking I hadn't done a lot of writing, but then I reminded myself of something important. I have been writing mentally. This got me thinking about the whole concept of mental writing and how crucial it is for my creative process. So, what exactly is mental writing? It's a process of thinking about your writing project when you're not actively sitting down to write. Imagine this. You're washing dishes, taking a walk, or maybe stuck in traffic. Instead of just letting your mind wander aimlessly, you're contemplating your next plot twist, developing your characters, or solving narrative problems. It's like having a mini writing retreat in your head anytime and anywhere. For Project Stone, I found some of my best writings come during these mental writing sessions. For instance, while I was running errands, I figured out a key character arc that had been troubling me. It felt like a breakthrough even though I wasn't at my desk. There are a few key characteristics that make mental writing such a powerful tool. First, it keeps you continuously engaged with your story. Even when you're away from desk, your mind stays connected to your characters and theme. This constant engagement makes it easier to jump back into writing when you do sit down. Second, it allows for subconscious processing. Sometimes the best ideas come when you're not actively thinking about them. Your brain works on problems in the background and suddenly, eureka, you've got the solution. For example, while cooking dinner, I suddenly realized how to resolve a subplot in Project Stone, which led to reworking my outline. I shared about it on my Instagram and in my community post. Third, it draws inspiration from everyday life. Mundane activities can trigger new perspectives and ideas. Maybe you overhear a snippet of conversation while waiting at the grocery checkout counter that sparks a brilliant dialogue for your story. It's all about being open to those moments. Now let's talk about how mental writing connects to another concept, soft writing. I want to dig deep into this, but maybe in another video. But just briefly, soft writing emphasizes emotional resonance, authenticity, and a conversational tone. It's about being honest and open in your storytelling and often drawing from personal experiences. Mental writing complements this by providing a stress-free environment for these authentic ideas to serve. When you're mentally writing, you're often more relaxed and open, allowing for genuine and heartfelt prose to emerge. It's like your mind is having a gentle conversation with itself, nurturing those raw, honest emotions that make for compelling writing. For example, there's a scene in Project Stone where I'm heavily drawing from a painful personal experience. You might think it would be easy to write that scene, but I just couldn't sit down to write and left the scene as it is and decided to come back to it later. I did this for a few days and then decided I had to go back and finish writing that scene. So during a quiet afternoon walk, I was reflecting on that personal experience that was difficult to write about. Without the pressure of the blank page, I was able to explore my feelings and thoughts more deeply, which later translated into what I feel is one of the most powerful scenes in Project Stone. Mental writing reduces stress. There's no pressure to come up with the perfect sentence right away. It gives your idea time to marinate, leading to a more relaxed and organic development process. So, how can we make mental writing a part of our daily routine? Here are a few practical techniques I found handy. Always keep a notebook or a digital device handy. Jot down ideas that come to you during mental writing. These notes will be invaluable when you transition to active writing process. I know Anne Lamott talks about keeping note cards. I have started keeping a field notes notebook with me at all times, which I started doing as an experiment, and I'll share about that experiment soon. Set aside specific times for activities that promote mental writing. Go for walks, do some household chores, use these moments intentionally to reflect on your writing projects. For example, I have a 15-minute walking routine every afternoon dedicated to thinking about Project Stone. Combine mental writing with regular active writing sessions using the insight and ideas developed during mental writing to enrich your active writing. I usually start my writing sessions by reviewing the notes I took during the mental writing periods. Practices like meditation can help clear your mind and focus your thoughts, making it easier to engage in productive mental writing. The benefits of mental writing are numerous. It enhances creativity by allowing ideas to flow without the constraint of formal writing sessions. It provides a therapeutic outlet for processing thoughts and emotions related to your writing project, and it improves the quality of your writing by allowing for richer, more nuanced ideas to develop over time. For me, mental writing has been a game changer. It's made my writing process more enjoyable and less stressful. I found that my best ideas often come when I'm not actively trying to write, which is mostly while doing dishes. It's like giving my mind the freedom to explore and create without the pressure of the blank page. Of course, mental writing isn't without its challenges. One of the biggest is capturing those fleeting ideas. That's why keeping a notebook or a digital device nearby is so important. Another challenge is balancing mental writing with active writing. It's essential to set regular writing sessions to ensure that mental writing translates into actual written words. And maintaining focus can be tough. Setting specific goals or questions to ponder during mental writing can help keep your mind on track. For instance, I often set a specific question or a problem to think about during my mental writing sessions. This helps me stay focused and makes my mental writing more productive. So when I come back to the desk for my fast drafting, I have those thoughts and ideas more or less fully formed, and I can just start typing them out. Mental writing is a powerhouse for creativity, but there is a key element that often gets overlooked in a hyper-connected world: embracing boredom and disconnecting from devices. It's crucial to allow ourselves to be free of screen and notification, creating the mental space for creativity to flourish. Think about it. When was the last time you let yourself be truly bored? In those moments of boredom, when you're not distracted by your phone or computer, your mind starts to wander. This wandering is the fertile ground where mental writing thrives. For instance, I've been trying to go about my writing chores without having a podcast on, which is what I usually did. I find that my mind drifts naturally to my writing projects, and ideas and solutions seem to bubble up effortlessly. Boredom can be uncomfortable at first because we are so used to filling up every idle moment with something. But once you push through that initial discomfort, you'll find your mind starts to engage more deeply with your creative project. This unstructured time allows your thoughts to meander and explore new possibilities without the constraint of formal writing, often leading to innovative solutions and creative breakthroughs. I remember one afternoon I was sitting on the deck in my backyard with no distractions. I felt restless at first, but then my mind drifted to Project Stone. I started thinking about my antagonist's backstory, and without realizing it, I mapped out a whole new subplot. It was one of those moments where I realized the power of just letting your mind be. So if you're feeling stuck or uninspired, try unplugging for a while, embracing the boredom, let your mind wander without the influence of screen. You might be surprised at the creative ideas that start to flow. Recently, when I had the epiphany of mental writing, it was a comforting revelation. You see, it first felt like mental writing leaves us with nothing tangible to show for our efforts. We might not have added new words to our manuscript or produced pages of text, and that can be disheartening. But here's the thing. I realized that mental writing is actually incredibly productive. This realization hit me when I was reflecting on my progress with Project Stone. I was feeling a bit down about only being 16,000 words into the first draft, whereas my goal is 25,000 words. It seemed like I hadn't accomplished much, but when I started thinking about all the time I'd spent mentally writing, pondering character arcs, solving plot issues, imagining scenes while doing everyday tasks, that's when it struck me. Mental writing is an essential part of the creative process. It's during these seemingly idle moments that our brains are working behind the scenes, connecting dots and generating ideas. It's productive in a different, less visible way. For example, I've had countless moments where while doing something as mundane as folding laundry, I suddenly figure out how to resolve a tricky plot point. You'll agree that those moments are pure gold as a writer. They may not immediately translate to words on the page, but they lay the groundwork for smoother, more inspired writing sessions later on. This comforting knowledge, the mental writing process is productive even when it doesn't look like it, is something I've come to embrace fully. It's like planting seeds. You might not see the growth right away, but beneath the surface, there's a lot happening. The ideas are germinating, growing roots, and preparing to burst forth when the time is right. So if you ever feel like you're not making progress because you're not actively writing, remind yourself of this. Mental writing is just as important. It is an invisible but vital part of creative journey, ensuring that when you do sit down to write, you are ready to bring those ideas to life. Mental writing shares similarities with other creative processes. In problem solving, for example, stepping away from a problem can lead to new insights, a process known as incubation. In artistic fields like painting or music compositions, creators often think about their work during everyday activities, allowing ideas to develop organically. This cross-disciplinary approach highlights the universality of mental writing as a valuable component of the creative process. For example, many artists find that their best ideas come to them when they are not actively working on their art. It's the same with writing. Sometimes stepping away from the desk is the best thing you can do for your creativity. Throughout history, many great thinkers and writers have utilized mental writing. Charles Darwin often took long walks to reflect on his theories, and Albert Einstein reportedly came up with some of his best ideas while daydreaming. This historical perspective underscores the timeless value of integrating mental writing into one's creative routine. It's fascinating to think that some of the greatest ideas in history came about through mental writing. It just goes to show the power of letting your mind wander and explore. I dove into a small research session to find some examples of some of my favorite authors and their mental writing processes. And I found a few which was very encouraging, and I thought I'd share it with you. First, we have Virginia Woolf. Her long walks were integrated to her creative process. She once said that the best ideas came to her during these walks. Haruki Murakami, another great example, combines his writing routine with running, using this time to think about his stories and characters. In his book, What I Talk About When I Talk About Running, he describes how running helps him clear his mind and focus on his writing. Stephen King, in his book on writing, mentions how everyday moments often lead to creative insights, helping him develop his plots and characters. He talks about how he gets some of his best ideas while taking shower or doing other mundane tasks. Kristen Hanna, one of my favorite authors, often talks about how ideas come to her during quiet moments. She shared that stepping away from her desk and engaging in simple activities like walking her dog or gardening allows her mind to work through story problems and develop character arcs subconsciously. These moments of mental writing are crucial to her process. Another one of my favorite authors, Taylor Jenkins Reid, shared how she uses mental writing. She says she gets her best ideas while doing mundane tasks like driving and washing dishes. And the moments away from her desk gives her the space to think deeply about her characters and plot, leading to richer storytelling. Julia Whelan, my favorite audiobook narrator and author, also utilizes mental writing in her creative process. She shared that while working on her novel, My Oxford Year, she found that her best ideas often came to her during her narrating sessions. The rhythm and flow of her narrations allowed her mind to wander and explore new ideas for her own writing, showing us that the power of mental writing, even while engaging in relative creative activities, can happen. Elizabeth Gilbert has shared the importance of allowing ideas to percolate during her daily life. She describes mental writing as a time when her subconscious is working through ideas, often leading to breakthroughs while she engages in other activities like gardening or walking. I wanted to share these examples to show that mental writing is a powerful tool used by some of the greatest writers. Even these authors need their creativity to flourish in unexpected ways, proving that writing is not confined to the desk but is a dynamic, ongoing process. If, like me, you too needed a reminder, here it is. Writing isn't just an activity confined to the desk, it's dynamic, ongoing process that permeates all aspects of life. So what are your thoughts about mental writing? How do you view it? Let me know in the comments section. And if you found this episode helpful, subscribe, like this video, and don't forget to share this video with any of your writer friends you think will benefit from this. And I'll see you in the next one.